For cheap and reliable Madden 21 Ultimate Team coins, check out EasyMut.com and use code SPORTS for 5% off your entire order. Yo, what's up everybody? It's Duke back here from SportsGamers.com. In today's Madden 21 tip, I'm going to break down an unstoppable offensive scheme featuring the best run in all of Madden 21 and also a very good passing play. So if you guys like to run and pass the ball, this is a great scheme to keep the defense off balance. We're going to be looking at gun formation, and we're going to be in the West Coast playbook on offense. You can find this in a few other playbooks, but I personally like it the best out of West Coast. And no, we're not talking about gun bunch. We're actually talking about the gun. If you guys take a look at it right here. Tray, open, offset. Now, I actually broke down the run play in depth on this channel a while back. It's that 5-6 trap. And I want you guys, if you have not seen the video, to go back and look at it. We will break it down quickly here. But if you want to see it in depth against all the different defenses, you're going to definitely want to check out the video. So, personally, when I'm running this game, the main plays that I like to use are going to be the PA read as well as the where's it at here? The 5-6 trap. Those are the two main plays I do like to use. Now, I will use situationally 4 verticals against someone who's playing a lot of zone coverage, but this PA read play is just simply a money passing play, and it goes perfectly with our 5-6 trap. And also the counter, guys. This counter is an extremely underrated run. So I want to make sure I have all those plays into audibles. The counter, the 5-6 trap, and then also PA read and 4 verticals. So these are going to be our 4 plays. Now we're going to look at how these plays work against a lot of different defenses. Again, this is out the West Coast playbook on offense. So, a lot of people right now, they're running a lot of 3-3-5, 3-3-5 odd, 3-3-5 wide, some nickel, normal 2-4-5, big nickel over G. The nickel formations in the game defensively are currently the meta. Now, the great thing about this is that this 5-6 trap, and we're just going to briefly go over it, pretty much kills all the meta defenses in the game. Now, before we get too much further in the video, guys, if you enjoy my content, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn your notifications on so you don't miss out on our videos. Smash that like button if you're really rocking me. The support does help out a lot. In the meantime, if you guys want to get better at Madden 21, make sure you check out sportsgamers.com. Whether you need help on offense or defense, we got the premium content you guys need to take your game to the next level, guaranteed. So, getting back to this run. Again, I will pin in the comments the full breakdown to this play, but you guys will see that the 5-6 trap gets crazy good blocking. The reason why this run is so good is whether they pinch their line, base a line, spread their D-line, just leave it by default, it doesn't really matter. This is a very unique run to where you're going to get good blocking to where it's really hard for the defense to stop you from getting to that second level. Also, we're spread out with the 3 receivers to the right. So, a lot of times they're going to have to, especially if they're playing man coverage, which is very popular this year. Like if you go to man, so see, they're going to have to align over these players, which leaves the box, light in the middle of the field. And that just allows you guys to get a hat on a hat. And, it's really difficult to stop this run. Take a look at the replay, and I'll show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. And then I'll show it against a 4-down line set too, because it really works well against both 3-down line sets and even 4-down line sets. And what I mean by that is we have 3 D linemen here, the 3-3-5 odd. Let's say we're in like a nickel normal, big nickel over G, whatever, you have 4-down linemen. You guys can see here, the reason why this run works so good is that we get multiple players going to the second level. Here you guys can see that the tackle, he actually gets to the linebacker in the middle of the field. We have a pulling guard to get that edge rusher that the tackle vacates. And because of this, I would say that most shotgun runs, you can blow up with the user. This one's very difficult to do that. Also, most shotgun runs, you might be lucky to get, a couple yards. With this run, I'm averaging a good, 5 to 10, 15 yards minimum, with huge runs mixed in. So you guys can see one more example of this against this 3-3-5 odd. You guys can then again see, look, just huge running lanes, and now I want to show it a few times against a 4-down line set. Now, a lot of people are running stuff like 2-4-5, nickel normal, big nickel over G, that type of stuff, because, it is a good gap shoot type defense, right? It does do a good job. Now, you can't really gap shoot this run the same way you would like an inside zone. It's very, very difficult to do. And again, you guys can see because of the alignment of the formation, a lot of times you're just going to get the defense misaligned to where everyone's out wide. Now, guys, take a look again at this blocking. It's very, very effective. And this actually goes perfectly with the counter because this run goes to the right, the three receiver side. The counter is going to go to the left, the lone receiver side. But again, look at how this time we get two guys going to the second level, and then we have the pulling guard getting that edge rusher. Very, very, very good blocking downfield. Now, if the defense does baseline, or maybe just playing zone, or whatever the case may be, so now they got more people in the middle of the field, you might be thinking, well, does this run still work as well? And yes, it still is going to work really good. We got about 5, maybe 6 yards right there. So you guys can see that pretty much no matter what, we're going to have success. Now, I'm going to go ahead this time and go to the counter. The counter I like to audible to when I see the defense basically just doing something like this to where they're not really respecting the run to the left. Most of the time I don't like counters this year, but this shotgun counter is surprisingly effective, as you guys can see. I mean, I didn't do a good job right there of reading my block, but if you notice, the edge rusher outside the tackle, that's the only guy who can make a play, really. And as long as we, cut inside just like that, we have a big lane. And the reason for this is, and again, you only want to use this when the defense is aligning more towards the three receiver side of the formation and not really respecting the running back side. But we have a pulling guard that's going to go kick out that edge that edge rusher. And then you guys can see the tackle, he's actually going to the second level. So when you run this play, all you got to really do is just have some decent stick to cut inside, and you're going to get a 5 to 10 yard run pretty much every time against this look. Now, I would not recommend using this unless they are on a defense like this to where they really don't have too many defenders on the left side of the field. This would be more of like a man coverage look than anything else. Now, if they did, and I'll show you guys an example of what I'm talking about, audible to something else to where they had more defenders on the left, then that's definitely when you go with the 5-6 trap. You guys can see again here what I'm talking about. All you really have to do is read your block, get inside the edge rusher. This time actually cut inside the 2D lineman on the left, and you're going to see big gaping holes to run the ball through. Crazy blocking. Like, this counter is so underrated. Now, you can't use it as a every down play, but in the right situations, it's so effective. Now, you can't run the counter every single play. That is the one thing about it. You have to get the right look on defense for it to be effective. However, if you see something to where you're not really liking the way the counter is going to look, let's actually go with a 2-4-5. And we're just going to keep the nickel back over there as well as baseline the defense. So now they have more defenders on the left side of the screen. Obviously, this is the time to run the 5-6 trap because, now not only do you have the edge rusher, you have to block, but you also have a nickel back over there. This is going to be the type of defense you would want to definitely run the 5-6 trap on because now you have the numbers to the right. That's the great thing about this formation is just simply looking at the numbers. Most people in these types of formations will play a baseline. I'm sorry, not baseline, but auto flip on, so they always keep their nickel back on the strong side of the offensive formation. And when that happens, you can obviously run the counter very well, But if they're not going to keep their auto flip on and they're going to keep their nickel back on the other side of the field where the counter's going, the 5-6 trap's going to be very effective. So you guys can see between these two runs, you pretty much always have an answer. All right, guys, now I want to break down the pass game from this formation. The PA read is extremely effective in beating man and zone coverage. It's one of the few plays in the game that stock is extremely good. But I do like to use a few hot routes with it to really make it more effective. So back to the 2-4-5. This is going to start with man coverage first. So, the easiest thing to do on this play to set it up is really just to streak the lone receiver, block the running back, and put the outside right receiver on a smart routed in route. Now, this is a setup that will kill man and zone because against man, you minimally have the crossing route and the in route. Both of those routes have to basically be usered. So you can't take away both away. Now against zone, this crossing route is one of those deeper, nice crossing route that gets open. The streak takes away deep zones. We have the drag underneath, and then the in route coming backside if they try to play the flat with the CPU and then user the crossing route. So let's start just with man first. R1, that's going to be our first read over the middle. You guys can see He torches a good corner. Nothing special there. That's all day long, and that's if they press you, don't press you, doesn't really make too much of a difference. He's gonna get open on that route every time. It's not a route where you have to have the best player in the world. I would just look for speed. I mean, yes, route running, great players does help, but it's very easy. Now, obviously, no one's just gonna let you throw that route every play because at a certain point they will user it, right? And if they user it, that's when you just hit that in route right off the backside. Simple throw and catch. I think he dropped the ball there, but we'll just do it one more time. I like to low ball it right when it breaks. Just possession catch it after that. It's a pretty simple read. And I've spoken about low balls on ins and outs this year against man coverage. Very, very difficult to stop. Pretty much, actually, I would say impossible to stop once you master the timing. Now, you guys can see that that's a really easy read. You also, if you wanted to, you can just keep the running back going out of the backfield just so that the man coverage is occupied. Doesn't really make too much of a difference, but if you don't want them to be able to use the guy guarding the running back, definitely recommend doing that. So zone coverage is easily exploitable too. It's very, very simple to read on this play. Mainly I'm looking at the cross, the drag, and the in route. Now here we're in cover 2, and then I'll switch to cover 3, but the reads are super simple. I already know that on this play that if you do not guard the crossing route manually, as you guys can see, or have zone drops on, it's going to be open every single time. Now you might say, what if they just user that route, right? Well, the thing about it is if they user that route, and, let's say that they're in Tampa 2, and maybe they just user this guy, or maybe they even just man him up, try to cross man, whatever. Like, let's just assume that route is going to be taken away, right? Well, that's the great thing about this play, is that if they do that, all you have to do is just throw this in route as it breaks back open over the middle of the field. Now, also, you might be saying, well, what if they have zone drops on so that, they don't even have to user that route, and then they can just user the in route? Well, if they do that, as we're going to do here, if they turn their zone drops on and play cover 2 or something like that, all we have to do is then we just throw the drag. And that's the great thing about this play and why it's so effective is it has man-beating routes, but then it's the perfect flood concept against zone, really, because all I have to do, again, is go ahead and throw the drag. I know that my user was kind of doing nothing there, so I'll just get off the corner. So the reads on this play are going to be the same, whether we're talking cover 3, cover 2, cover 4. It doesn't really matter. Something I preach a lot. Always you want to have plays that have same reads, basically no matter what the coverage is. So if I see that they're in cover 2, cover 3, cover 4, doesn't really matter. I'm still reading the play the same way. Just basically looking to see if they guard the crossing route their user. If not, they have zone drops on. So I'm just reading again the drag, which right here is still open, but we're going to hit the crosser, and the in route. Again, the reason why this play works so well is that the streak is going to take, if they're in a coverage with a deep zone on that side of the field, he's going to take him out of the play, right? He's running him off the ball. Honestly, could have been a touchdown there because the DB got burnt. But now, if you don't have zone drops on or if you don't use my crosser, that's open every play. Now, if you have zone drops on, though, first of all, notice I can throw the drag here. I wouldn't have got a lot of yards, but I could throw it. But let's say that this guy's zone drop is on. He's back here waiting. Well, now my, minimal gain on the drag is turning into, 10 to 15 yards. Now, you might say to yourself, what if they just play hard flats and go user this guy in the crosser? Say this guy is, usering. We have hard flats and this guy's usering. Then this guy coming back open over the middle field is wide open. So there's really no way to take away all 3 routes very well. And at the same time, in this formation, you can run the ball so well from. Very rare to be able to run the ball this well from a shotgun set. You can't just simply play the pass. You got to worry about the run. Really, first and foremost, in my opinion, when you see this formation because of how good the run is. Hope you guys enjoyed this scheme. Let me know in the comments what you think. Until next time, it's Duke.